Weekday mornings from 10 till 12. This is KCLR Live.
It's 10 o'clock. A very good morning. You're tuned to KCLR live from the beautiful Lord Bagenal Inn this morning. We're ready to celebrate excellence. We have a brilliant lineup for you today. We're on air for all our loyal listeners. We're online as well. Why not log in as well and have a look, and you can see our panel of guests coming up talking about the amazing business success stories in County Carlow. You can get in touch as always. You can free phone Siobhan with your comments on any of the stories of the day on 1800 90 96 96. You can text or WhatsApp me direct here to the pocket on 083 9696. The dinnersready.ie contact line is open. We've got another great prize for you today with Detail Menswear. Tune in right after the news headlines with Sinead for our brilliant show this morning.
Thanks, Seymour. Good morning. There are fresh calls today for the Russian ambassador to be expelled from Ireland. Yuri Filatov's been summoned by Minister Simon Coveney to the Department of Foreign Affairs to meet with the Secretary-General later, after Russia yesterday slapped 52 Irish politicians with a travel ban. Extreme care is needed on the roads around Carlow and Kilkenny with a dense fog down again this morning. Met Éireann had issued a weather warning for the entire country. That's just been lifted in the past few minutes. A local councillor says he wants urgent movement on the installation of 19 new CCTV cameras that were promised for Kilkenny City. And the Social Protection Minister, Heather Humphreys, is reportedly taking over Minister Helen McEntee's portfolio when she goes on maternity leave next week. The Irish Independent reports the arrangement is yet to be signed off by the coalition leaders, with confirmation expected on Monday. A cabinet shuffle is due on the 17th of December when the Taoiseach Leo Varadkar and Taoiseach Micheál Martin swap roles. And in sports this morning, SETU Carlow take on Mary Immaculate College this afternoon in Division 2 of the Higher Education Freshers Football League. That's your latest update. KCLR weather next.
The train calling at Platform 3 is the 1959 service to Cork. Calling at Charleville, Mallow and Maria in C32A starts chemo next month.
We don't always know who's at risk from COVID-19 and other viruses, but we do know how to protect them. Keep hands clean and wear a mask. Let fresh air in. Get vaccinated and stay at home if you are unwell. From the HSE, for us all.
KCLR Weather Word.
Forecasting a massive Black Friday event on Samsung jet cordless vacuum cleaners at Electro City, Carlow and Kilkenny. You'll love this Samsung Black Friday event now on at Electro City, Carlow and Kilkenny. For more details, electrocity.ie.
Mist and fog slow to clear this morning. It will be a mostly dry day though, with some sunny spells and just isolated light showers. Quite cool though, with highs only reaching 5 to 8 degrees. Right now it's 2 degrees in Kilkenny City and 3 in Carlow Town.
Temperatures on KCLR with thanks to Tile and Style Greycoat in Carlow, carrying tiles, bathroomware, paints, timber flooring and new lighting section now open.
KCLR has been informed of the following deaths. Mary Kelly, New Irwin, 75, New Park, Kilkenny, formerly of Barra Street, Graignamanagh, on Wednesday peacefully at home. Reposing in Johnson's funeral home today from 5 o'clock with rosary and vigil prayers at 6:30. Requiem Mass on Friday morning at 10:30 in St John's Church, Kilkenny. Funeral afterwards to St Kieran's Cemetery. The house is private, please. Tony Kelly, Killinall, Tipperary, and formerly of Guff's Grange, Kilkenny and Ballingarry coal mines on Monday suddenly. Reposing at O'Connell's funeral home, Killinall, this evening from 5 until 7:30. Funeral Mass in St Mary's Church, Killinall on Friday morning at 11:30, followed by burial in Crosscannon Cemetery. The funeral mass can be viewed at churchcamlive.ie/Killinall. The house is private on Friday morning, please. John Conway, Coonbeg via Athy, County Laois, peacefully at his home on Tuesday. Reposing at his home, removal today at 1:15 to the Church of the Sacred Heart, Arles, arriving for funeral mass at 2 o'clock and burial afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donations to the Poor Clare Sisters, Great Cullen. Eamon Darcy, number 5, St Austin's Terrace, Tullow, County Carlow, on Monday, peacefully at Barris Lodge Nursing Home. Requiem Mass this morning at 11 o'clock in the Church of the Most Holy Rosary, Tullow, after which he'll be laid to rest in St Patrick's Cemetery, Tullow. Carmel Broderick, New Dowling, Palatine Village, Carlow, at the Sacred Heart Hospital on Wednesday. Reposing in Lacey's Funeral Home, John Street, Carlow, from 4 o'clock today, with prayers at 7 this evening. Removal on Friday morning at 10:30 to St Mary's Church, Bennakerry, arriving for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass and burial immediately afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. And Edmund Duggan, Luton, Bedfordshire, formerly of Kilmacoliver, Tullahocht, County Kilkenny. He died suddenly on the 10th of October at his residence. Funeral took place in Luton on Monday, the 14th of November, and memorial mass will be celebrated in St Nicholas's Church, Kilmacoliver, Tullahocht, this Saturday at 12 noon. For those who'd like to view the mass, they can do so online through the Winegap Tullahocht Dunnamagan Kilmagany Catholic Church Facebook page. Ar yesterday go raibh. Details of these announcements can be found on our website, KCLR96fm.com. You'll also get all your local stories and more there and on the KCLR app.
Thank you very much, Sinead. Hello and good morning again. We're live from the Lord Bagenal Inn today, and we have a live audience here this morning. They're coming into us because we are celebrating with thanks to the Carlow Chamber of Commerce, celebrating excellence. There are so many amazing companies out there in County Carlow. We've heard some of their stories, but we continue to find out more about the businesses that we have, the brilliant employment we have on the ground. It's a good time of year to champion local business as well, coming up to Christmas. You can watch us on the live stream, by the way. We have great listenership on the airwaves of KCLR that tune in every morning, and we're not forgetting you because we have a brilliant prize for you today. And you'll be able to text us, as always, on 083 306 9696, but you can follow us on the Chamber website as well. We are live on the Carlow Chamber website this morning. Thanks to Greg and the team from Hedgehog who are with us managing that live stream during the broadcast. If anybody wants to tweet, you can use the hashtag Celebrating Excellence. And if you've any requests for your local businesses, please do pop them on the WhatsApp or the text line to us, 083 306 9696. That's all the housekeeping out of the way today. Very foggy morning out there still on the roads, folks, so do take care. If you're listening in the car, make sure your fog lights are on. Hopefully it'll clear up shortly. But we're not worried about that now, Colin Duggan, because, I mean, we're being treated like royalty here at the Lord Bagenal, and we'll probably tuck into a few scones a little bit later on. How are you today?
Great. And to be honest, James Keogh and the team here in the Lord Bagenal has really looked after us really well. You know, some fantastic fresh warm scones, tea, coffee, and some fantastic company here today.
What a welcome we got. And you know, when staff are out sprucing up the front steps and looking after all that level of detail, you know you're in a good place.
Oh, definitely. And I'm sure over the next couple of days, James getting ready for Christmas. He's got the Christmas tree out. I'm sure you've been polishing that star, James.
Yeah, that's it. Next week, the Christmas decorations start to go up again for another year. So Kay and the team will be doing that. And it's something we all look forward to every year, putting up our Christmas decorations.
Well done. You're very welcome to the programme, James Keogh. And since you won the Lifetime Achievement Award, and it was a great honour for you, I know, honoured by the Carlow Chamber, lovely on home soil to get an award like that. What's it been like since? You have great loyal customers that come in, and I'm sure they've been saying it to you.
Yes, Emer. I was really surprised to get the award now, and that is no exaggeration. I never expected such an award. You know, I really didn't. I was humbled by it, to be honest with you. But you know, and Colin will tell you the same thing. You know, we've got a really good, loyal support and great customers coming in here. It's frightening to think that next May I'm 44 years here. But anyhow, the local lads coming into the bar sort of keep you in your place. And I remember a couple of nights after I got the award, and you know, most people were very so supportive, and you know, really, really delighted I received it and said how much I deserved it. But anyhow, you know, as people will know, you always have the characters at the bar. So one of the lads at the bar said to me, you know, he says, I heard you got a bit of an award. He said, well, I suppose if you were in prison for 40 years, they'd give you something as well when you're leaving. So it's sort of, it's how the local lad will keep you in your place. But anyhow,
it's humbling for sure, I'd say, managing a place like the Lord Bagenal. You have a lot of characters in Leighlinbridge who love coming in here.
I do. Oh, yeah, look at we're so lucky and so blessed to have such great support over all the years. I do find it frightening to think only the date is on the calendar that I know that I came here on the 11th of May 1979. I wouldn't realise I was here so long. I would sort of say, I think I'm here about 16 or 17 years. But actually, when you have a date, it is just frightening to think. And yeah, we have great support. I mean, to think that we still have families coming in after all those years, you know, sort of parents, grandparents, grandchildren, you know, throughout, you know, like, as I said, sort of, you've the christenings, you've the confirmations, you've the 21st birthday party, you get the wedding, and then, you know, you'll have the bereavements, and, you know, so it's just, it is quite amazing just how the journey really has been, you know.
Well done to you, James. You do an incredible job. I think he deserves a round of applause for all the hard work. It's something else, being a hotelier day in, day out. And a rare breather for you. It's just a live radio show you have to put up with this morning. No weddings today, but you've had so many. And coming up to Christmas, you'll have lots more celebrations. You'll have all the Christmas parties and weddings.
Yeah, that's right. You know, that, I'm sure Colin's the same. We're sort of gearing up towards the Christmas parties now. We've had a very busy season with weddings. There during June, July into August, we had sort of 3 and 4 weddings a week. I suppose it's the backlog from the COVID period. The COVID was really quite difficult, you know, for everyone. Well, in our industry, it was really difficult because, you know, honestly, I remember saying to my wife, Jane, I said, you know, I wonder, will anyone come back to us when we reopen? You know, I honestly thought that, you know, because even though I was coming in here day in, day out, and we actually, we redone our kitchens, and we redone the lobby area and the new bar out front there, and, you know, you're positive going forward, you're reinvesting, but at the same time, there's that little thought in the back of your mind, and you're saying to yourself, I wonder will the customers come back, you know, but thank God they did, and they came back in their droves, you know.
I think it's that quality, though, James, that I hear when I talk to a lot of businesses that have longevity, like yours. It's the fact that you never take your customers for granted, the fact that you're always wondering, am I doing things right? Are they going to come back to me? And Colin Duggan, you're the president of the Chamber. Do you feel that as well when you're on your travels around County Carlow?
Yeah,
that
totally.
Those qualities are there.
Yeah, I suppose the resilience people have showed during COVID and how they galvanised their businesses, looking forward and having the foresight just to look beyond COVID when there was loads of doubt about how we would open or how we would welcome back our customers again. I'm in awe of those people that actually could get over that hurdle and just look forward and keep the teams together and keep them moving forward. It was brilliant to see.
Are you staggered as well, Colin, at times, the amount of businesses we have, businesses that have come to the fore in the last few years, that perhaps they have been under the radar, they've been working very hard, they've been quite successful, but maybe they haven't needed to market themselves locally?
Yeah, definitely. If we take the Business Awards as the example, in the category for Best Newcomer, there's 23 applicants. Most of those actually opened during COVID. Again, showing a strength of belief that business in Carlow has that resilience, and that they could see that their business could thrive in a time where people would have doubt about developing anything new. But I think when we can consider the strength and depth that we have in Carlow, we have a fantastic university now, an ETB that's recognised nationally. We have the county council that's developing our county, and actually has a foresight to get master planning in place to develop a county that's going to have a fantastic place to set up business and grow.
I'm not sure how you feel about calling the Kilkenny Road University Road, or if you have any views on that, because I know your day job is in the Woodford Dolmen on the Kilkenny Road.
I would champion that idea. You know, I think the one thing we have to get our heads around is we're now a university town, not a town with a university. And I think we need to embrace that because I do believe the university could be the catalyst to a lot of investment and industry in Carlow.
Right, don't go anywhere on me. I'm just going to keep these live stream guys on their toes this morning because I'm going to pop down into the audience, because when we're talking about emerging businesses and relatively new businesses, I see Linda here from Flag Lane. And Linda, you're in the mix for an award. You're nominated for an award for the Powerhouse Women in Business Awards in the Woodford Dolmen tomorrow.
That's true, Emer, yeah. That's right. Happening at the Woodford tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. And very excited, lining up with 6 other amazing businesses. And that's what women in business really are. We're a powerhouse in our own right, aren't we?
And it's brilliant to get recognition as well, to have events like that, to let people know what you're doing. Because as I said, for some of the businesses, you mightn't always be focused on getting the word out locally. You might be focused on other markets sometimes, but you're employing locally.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, Emer, when you're a new business starting off, sometimes you end up working so busy in your business rather than on your business. And marketing is first and foremost of getting your word out there, PR, even attending events like this, talking to yourself and getting ourselves out on the radio. You know, they're all very important to new business.
And tell me, what do you do day to day, Linda?
Well, our mission is to put marketing on the agenda for every single small business in County Carlow. And why? Because small businesses are the backbone of the rural community. Places like Borris, Ballymurphy, Tullow, Rackyearn. If we have strong businesses in these areas, we keep our local people local. And I mean, that is paramount to what we're doing, because at the end of the day, if we can't find employment, we end up heading off to the big smoke or bigger cities. And places like the Lord Bagenal hire local staff all day, every day. And it's all about getting the word out there and teaching small business how to market differently for a rural business, because that's very different than how you would market something in a bigger city.
Your mum-in-law is with you, and she has her own business as well in Bagnestown.
She does indeed, Bevel Hair Salon.
Very good. I think she's radio shy, but we'd give them a big shout out this morning.
Bevel Hair Salon, another new business, opened right in the middle of COVID. Absolutely a powerhouse as well. Really busy at the moment, right on the corner where the old Gilry Arms used to be.
Well done. So if anybody wants a new hairstyle, they know where to go now. Thanks a million to Linda. James, I'm coming back to you, because mentioning our rural towns and villages, you had a vision for the Lord Bagenal, because when you bought it, it wasn't what it is now, James.
No, when we came here, it's actually a couple of rooms, 2 rooms. And I suppose, I didn't realise it, but I suppose I just thought that the restaurant and we would just continue to develop. I remember, Lord have mercy on my dad, I remember I brought him up here about 2 weeks before we opened, or maybe 3 weeks, and showed him around the place. And he said to me, he said, God, he said, it's a beautiful place, but he said, I think you're in the wrong location. And thank God, I remember another fella, probably in the first week we were open, I had to put this chap out. He wasn't suiting the business anyhow. And he said to me, he said, it'll be nothing only a rookery for crows.
Right, well, you definitely proved him wrong. I hope he's listening this morning. Fair play to you. And back to the shop local then, Colin, we were talking there about businesses that aren't always focused on local. The retailers are. They want our euros. They want to keep them in the county. And that's a big part of your campaign now, and you're launching that today as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important where we can to shop local and consider Carlow jobs and keep look after retail or even services that you might use as a present at Christmas. It's a great opportunity also to actually look around and see what fantastic products we actually have in Carlow. When we consider shop local, it's whether it's Carlow, Bagnestown, Tullow, Hackstown, Borris, we should explore the fantastic products we actually have in this county.
And it makes a huge difference. That's the thing. We can't underestimate whether it's buying your small gifts instead of going onto Amazon. You can't see them. You can't feel the texture of them. Whereas if you go local and you've customer service, you have somebody, for instance, I know I purchased something from Douche in Graignamanagh online over the weekend, and I got a call because I forgot to put the air code in for the gift. So you get a customer service if you stay local.
Yeah, and it's those little things, it's those touches that it makes it so personal that we see. Detail won the award for best customer service. You know, and it's those little things that companies do to make sure that they know, say, Colin's size when my wife goes in to buy
How
a
do
present.
they do
you know?
it? They know
Absolutely.
every man in Carlow that's ever been dressed by them. I think they have a file there. And they know everyone's inside leg and everyone's waist measurements.
Yeah.
Whether you know it or not, lads, they do. They're brilliant. So for the women shopping this Christmas, that's very handy, isn't it?
Yeah, so true. Yeah, I worry when I talk to Philip, right? Yeah, but it's a fantastic business, and it's businesses like that actually that show that they go the extra mile.
They do.
Just goes to show by shopping local, we can actually look after the companies that are really doing well in Carlow.
They have dressed people from communion to wedding day. And speaking of detail, Retailer of the Year at the Carlow Business Awards this year, they've generously given us a €100 voucher to give away again today for our listeners at home. Our listeners in the audience, you can text in as well if you'd like to enter the competition. To win, all you need to do is text detail. Do it now, please, to 083 306 9696. That's 083 306 9696. We're going to take a quick break. We're live from the Lord Bagenal. It's been amazing to talk to James Keogh, our Lifetime Achievement Award winner here, who's hosting our programme for us today with Carlow Chamber and with President Colin Duggan. We'll be back after these.
KCLR Live, with thanks to June Doran Properties, 36 Dublin Street, Carlow, leading the way in residential and commercial properties. 059 910 50 86.
It's the Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring 70% off sale. Get up to 70% off on all your purchases. Up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring, all bathware. Everything's reduced in store. The 70% off sale at Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring. Stores nationwide. Sale now on.
12 of Kilkenny's top quality car brands, but only one event, 1 week. Get in gear for Kilkenny's Motor Show Week. Over 150 brand new 2023 models. And the deal of your lifetime. Citroen, Ford, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, Nissan, Renault, Dacia, Peugeot, Skoda, Toyota and Volkswagen. The Kilkenny Motor Show at participating dealers in Kilkenny. November 14th to 20th. With late opening Thursday till 8 p.m, Saturday till 5 p.m, and Sunday 12 to 4.
Adult Safeguarding Day takes place this month. An important step to prevent adult abuse is to respect and support everybody's right to decision making, including if someone is frail or living with a disability or serious illness. It's also essential to respond to adult abuse. If someone is at immediate risk of harm, call 999 or 112. If worried about an ongoing concern, contact your safeguarding team at hse.ie/safeguarding. From Safeguarding Ireland, supported by the HSE, safeguardingday.ie.
Saturday, November 26th, Santa Claus is arriving to Market Cross with magic in the air. The fun starts at 12 before his big arrival at 12:30, followed by a magical afternoon in our winter Wonderland grotto. For details, find Market Cross online.
At Christmas, we all have a wish list. You know, jobs around the house you wish someone else would look after. Well, how's this for a Christmas miracle? For a limited time, Smart Cleaning will get your stairs and landing carpet cleaned for just €70, with pre-Christmas special offers also on oven and sofa cleaning. Book today. For clever cleaning, think smartcleaning.ie.
Santa Claus is coming to the Avalon House Hotel on the 11th and 18th of December. Enjoy a 4-course festive lunch and kids entertainment with face painting, a magician, balloon modelling and Christmas post office.
Then visit me, Santa, and Mrs. Claus in our Santa Grotto, when we'll meet all the children and give them a gift.
To book your table, call 056 444 1302.
Black Friday specials now on at Eurofarm and Garden Supplies, your one-stop shop for all your farming, gardening and equestrian needs. 20% off all horse rugs and selected range of work boots. 10% off dog, horse, cattle and sheep clippers, winter dosing, workwear, rainwear, milking machine liners and much more. Special offers on all Wellingtons. Call to see us for more details. Eurofarm and Garden Supplies, Unit 1A, Lockby Industrial Estate, Ring Road, Kilkenny. Open 6 days. See eurofarm.ie.
Weekday mornings from 10 till 12. This is KCLR Live.
You're very welcome back to KCLR Live from the Lord Bagenal Inn this morning. We're having a great morning. We're celebrating excellence with the Carlow County Chamber. We're hearing lots of your local business stories. And at home, a lot of men, it seems, need help with their outfits for Christmas, because the texts are flooding in for the competition on 083 306 9696. Text detail your own name and address if you'd like to win, and we'll announce the winner before 12 o'clock. I'm delighted to be joined on stage now this morning by two amazing local companies and award winners as well. Carlow Toolmaking won Outstanding Small Business of the Year. Pat Ammon joins me, and John Kennedy, General Manager of DPF Engineering, and John, DPF won Exporter of the Year this year. Congratulations again to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. I might start, John, first of all, with yourself at DPF. Tell us a little bit about DPF for our listeners at home that may not be aware of what you do day to day.
Okay, DPF Engineering, basically, we manufacture precision component parts. Basically, was started in 2010 by a gentleman called Seamus Lancaster. Seamus actually sends his apologies. He's actually away travelling this week, selling or, well, sales junket, but he tells me he's working.
Exporter of the Year now, so go easy on him.
This is true, yes. He actually started the company in 2010. He actually started selling bespoke jigs and fixtures for manufacturing companies in Ireland. He actually didn't have any equipment himself. He was actually getting the business and subbing it out.
Right.
And then over a couple of years, he built up equipment, built up some specialist tool makers, and got going. And then about 2010 to 2011, he recognised that there was an opportunity in the aerospace sector. So he invested pretty heavily in some very specialist equipment and started from there, basically. And as of today, we have 45 people employed, turnover of 5 million, 60% exports, supplying into medtech sector, the aerospace sector, and the high-tech sector. So phenomenal story, really.
Wow, so very specific components, and you're aimed at multinational companies. And I haven't a clue what I'm looking at, and
Yes.
you might describe it for our radio listeners as well. You've brought some props along, just so that we can visualise what you're all about.
Yes, probably my explanation, if it wasn't radio, probably would be poor. But this piece here basically is what's called the shaft. It's actually part of the landing mechanism for a Boeing 747 MAX. Then this one, I'll just take three here actually, because it gives an idea of the spread of work we do. This is called a resonator, a small little component. It looks quite simple, very, very difficult to make, but it's actually part of a gyroscope for a telescope and spacecraft. And then the final one here basically is a base plate for a machine that manufactures microchips.
Right.
So whenever you fly, whenever you use your laptop or your mobile phone, or basically whenever you look at a space program, Carlow is well represented.
That's amazing. Have you done any business with Elon Musk yet?
No, not yet. That would be an interesting business development piece. I'll leave that to Seamus.
I bet Seamus is probably working on it as we speak now.
Oh, could very well be, yes, could very well be.
And Pat, you were looking at the components with interest because you're in the business of tool making yourself.
We're in the same type of business. We're more in the medical and oral care side of the business.
So you're very specific now, Pat, are you?
Yeah, it's precision parts. What we do is we make fixtures and medical devices to help people in the medical industry to produce the medical parts. We don't actually produce any medical parts ourselves. It's just the devices that we make for them.
Right, so talk us through, you've brought some devices along here, haven't you?
Yeah, well, again, most of them are from the medical end of it. This is a safe cut fixture, and it's used for cutting the tubes for the balloons, and the balloons are used for delivery of the stents in the hearts and operations and stuff like that. These are different grippers there's different processes before the actual balloon is made. There's different grippers. This part here is a gripper that's for what used to be in Carlow, Braun, Oral-B, and they're now changed to Mapex, but that's for holding the tuft for the toothbrush. So these we would have designed and manufactured these parts, spare parts, and special purpose machines for these companies.
I'm staggered when I hear about your connection, your local, global connections when you're describing what you're doing. So in your case, John, you mentioned Boeing, and in your case, some of the massive medical firms, you mentioned the Braun toothbrush, for instance.
Yep.
It's remarkable how a small county like Carlow has that reach, Pat.
We have that reach, but it's gone to the stage. Ireland is good. Well, probably Carlow started off as a very good manufacturing, from the likes of the sugar factory, Braun, Lappel and all in the years, the Burnsides, and there's loads of engineering. It's an engineering county, and the world has gone small now with couriers and emails and everything like that. Like, an awful lot of our work is done throughout Ireland, and some of it is stuff we don't actually do ourselves. We don't export ourselves, but we work with companies, medical companies in Galway, who are exporting it out to America and everywhere, some of our parts.
There's no doubt our innovation hubs were the likes of Braun, Lappel, Carlow Sugar Factory in the past. Now I think it's your businesses really where a lot of these ideas are being worked on and coming to the fore, and we're seeing so much progression all the time. What's your background, John, in terms of local business, or did you do an apprenticeship yourself, or how did you start out?
Well, unfortunately, I've been around quite a long time. I would have joined Seamus about 2 to 3 years ago. I suppose my background is working with companies that are either going through difficult times or, in Seamus's case, have very ambitious plans to grow, and I work with them. I come actually from an industrial engineering background, work study and efficiency, or would now be called lean, basically. So worked with a lot of different types of companies, engineering, warehousing, basically.
Right.
Variety of industries.
Brilliant. Stay where you are, gentlemen. I know I'll put the fear into everybody in the room now in the Lord Bagenal. Where is she going to go next? And I'm going to go across to Aptus this morning to say good morning to Fergal. How are you, Fergal?
I'm very good now, thanks. Good to be here this morning.
It's great to be here, and it's great to have a good signal as well, because there's nothing worse than when the broadband goes down when you're on live radio.
It's very important to be well connected, so it is, especially on live radio, yes.
It surely is, and you've been very busy connecting people everywhere.
We've been busy now for quite a long time, I suppose, connecting rural Carlow and the surrounding counties to broadband, and I think we're making even more progress now with our partnership with National Broadband Ireland, which are currently rolling out fibre to quite a lot of Carlow, Kilkenny and the surrounding counties. So you'll probably have seen their vans and trucks rolling on the roads over the last number of weeks and months. And I suppose that's starting to pay a dividend now, where we see fibre becoming available in rural Carlow. And Aptus are very happy to be able to be part of that project and deliver fibre services to our customers now.
Well done. Continued success. I know you enjoyed the Business Awards as well, Fergal.
Yeah, that was a great evening. It was a great showcase, I think, for all the businesses in Carlow. And as Colin mentioned earlier on, I think a lot of the new businesses, which is great to see, because they really are the lifeblood of the country. And it was very good evening, well hosted and well presented.
Thanks very much, Fergal. Enjoy your morning here with us. And back to you, Pat, because when we're talking about fibre there and broadband, and you had mentioned couriers to me a minute ago, that's really important for the manufacturing businesses as well, because a lot of your systems are relying on broadband, really, so that you can operate. Even machinery these days, they're very connected, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, everything is CNC controlled. Drawings and everything like that is transported and sent to people, through the fibre, and it is very important, because the beauty of it now, and we all learned over COVID and everything like that, with the Teams calls and the Zoom calls and everything like that, it's we can be in Galway in 2 minutes, and then you can be down in Wexford in 2 minutes again, just on calls, and you can have joint calls.
Has that been the positive effect for a business like yours? Because you would have spent a lot of time, I'd imagine, on the road, and now you can see it's not really necessary all the time.
That's what happens as well. You can have a meeting arranged at 11 o'clock, 11:15 or 11:20. Business is done. You don't have to drive 3 hours the whole time. So it was one of the positives that did come from the COVID.
That's absolutely brilliant to hear. Listen, thank you very much for sharing your stories with us this morning. We'll give a round of applause to Pat Ammon there of Carlow Toolmaking, and John Kennedy, General Manager of DPF Engineering. We're going to take a quick break. Just before we do, Etna, you're getting some texts in, you're getting lots of entries for the competition.
Loads and loads and loads of entries for the competition. So the lads in detail have you covered. Not only do they have your details, they have €100 voucher to give us this morning. So get in touch.
Lovely. On 083 306 9696. Back after a short break.
KCLR Live, with thanks to June Doran Properties, 36 Dublin Street, Carlow, opening the door to your dream property. Call June 059 910 50 86.
This Saturday on KCLR, we'll be live from the official store opening of the new Easy Living Interior store in Four Lakes Retail Park, Carlow. Join Edward Hayden and the team on Saturday for lots of great music, exciting giveaways, Black Friday celebrations, and special launch day treats for those that visit. That's the Saturday show with Edward Hayden, live this Saturday morning from 10 until 12 at the official opening of the new Easy Living Interior store, located in Four Lakes Retail Park. See you there.
Dan is an expert at buying the perfect gifts. He once bought his mum a birthday present that she actually used. But he's not an expert when it comes to electric cars. Should he go for mild hybrid? Full hybrid? Is he ready for fully electric? All he really knows is that he wants a silver one. Luckily, Nissan have been giving people help and advice on electrified vehicles since we introduced the all-electric Leaf back in 2010. So, wherever you are on your journey to electric, head to your local Nissan dealer to see which electrified vehicle suits you. And they're all available in silver, too. Nissan. Innovation that excites.
Cast a warm eye on life with Mulberry Stoves Ballyhale. Choose from our freestanding stove collection or stove inserts and fire front collection. When you buy a Mulberry stove, you're buying a product of exceptional quality. All backed up by our 5-year warranty on external body and boiler. Mulberry Stoves. See mulberrystoves.com.
At Ulster Bank, we have now begun to close current and deposit accounts. At this time, if your notice period and your deadline has passed, your account is now queued for closure. You must take action now. If you are still relying on your personal or business bank account and in need of support, please contact us immediately. Visit ulsterbank.ie, your local branch, or call 0818 210 260. Call costs may vary and calls from mobiles may not be free. Ulster Bank Ireland DAC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
What's more exciting than jumping out of a plane? What's more exciting than your wedding day? What's more exciting than the most exciting day of the year? Picking up an LG TV Black Friday deal, of course. The Electro City Black Friday sale is now on. Massive reductions on all LG TVs. Save €400 on the LG Big Screen 65-inch Smart 4K TV, reduced to $599. The LG 55-inch Ultra HD Smart TV is reduced to $449, saving you €180. Get ready for seriously exciting savings on all LG TVs. Electro City Black Friday sale now on.
Cha Whalen, Thomastown Tarmac, spanning 3 decades. Specialists in driveways, patios, curbs, slabs, drainage, tarmac and asphalt. Fully insured and all work guaranteed. For jobs big or small, call Declan 087 9683 994.
Fury as Irish beef prices lag behind South America. In this week's Irish Farmers Journal, factories come under pressure to lift beef prices ahead of World Cup demand. Farmers banned from burning bushes in 2023. €50,000 grant to refurbish derelict houses opens. Department looking at options for farmers locked out of agri-environmental schemes. Find out how much you can be paid for scrub next year. Plus, don't miss a 10-page tractor special inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal. You cannot afford to miss it.
Weekday mornings from 10 till 12. This is KCLR Live.
You're tuned to KCLR Live. We're celebrating excellence this morning with Carlow County Chamber. We're online as well. Check out the live stream on their website. And we're on air, as always, on KCLR Live this morning. I'm thrilled to meet Joanne. And Joanne from Enchanted Castle, you're up for an award as well tomorrow night at the Woodford Dolmen.
I am. I'm also nominated for a new startup business as well.
So what do you tell our listeners what you do?
I make soy wax melts in, I think, over 100 different scents at the moment. I'm also expanding into bath and body products. So I've got soaps and whip soaps and bath bombs and things.
And the melts smell incredible.
Yeah, my house smells lovely.
And what kind of scents? How do you develop 100 different scents?
I just started with a kind of few and then took on customer requests and expanded from there. And I think the strangest request I had was for petrol-scented wax melt, which we did.
Some people love petrol.
I didn't.
We're funny though because smells invoke things. When I think of smell, nostalgia comes into it. So I think at Christmas, that cinnamon smell or that kind of Christmas cakes are being made smell. I think of growing up in Carlow and walking down the steps of the Gael School in the old school in Pollerton, and I remember the smell of the sugar beet.
Yeah, I've a lot of requests of loved ones' favourite perfumes or soaps or maybe like a favourite dish they used to cook or something like that, and recreate it in a wax melt. So when the light in that wax melt, it's like having the scent fill the house of that family member that's maybe passed.
It's funny, if a family member wore the same scent for years, I'm thinking Estee Lauder Youth Dew for some reason, years ago, if a family member always wore that, you associate it with so much when you smell it.
Yeah, well, I can recreate that in the wax melts. Yeah, it's quite an amazing thing to bring back memories for some people.
Good on you. Well, best wishes tomorrow evening, Joanne. Is there anyone working with you, by the way, or are you on your own?
I'm a one-woman show. I support my husband, my mother, and extended family, my sister, and everybody as well. But I make everything on my own.
Well done. Well, we'll keep an eye out for you. Enchanted Castle Melts. I'm sure you're on Instagram and online.
I am. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and I'm online as well.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much for that, Joanne. And back to our all-male panel this time. And I'm delighted to be joined by John Purcell, CEO of KCLR. Lovely to see you, John.
Hi, Emer.
And apologies, because our listeners mightn't realise this, but I'm going to share the joke now with everybody at home. But I actually didn't give you an opportunity to make a speech on the night of the Business Awards because I was so stunned that KCLR had won Business of the Year.
I know, I was a bit stunned myself. I was trying to catch your attention, but c'est la vie and no harm done.
I had the night wrapped and everyone was back in the bar and visual before poor John Purcell could say a word.
I'm usually stuck for words.
We'll give you a good chance this morning. And also we've Brian O'Farrell, CEO of Carlow Chamber. Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm great, thank you, Emer. Good morning, and good morning to everybody who's tuned in online and in the car or wherever on KCLR as well.
And I'm thrilled to have Conal O'Boyle, editor of the Carlow Nationals, because Conal, it's hard to get an editor because even on a Thursday, you're putting pages to bed, I'd say, for your features and your supplements, and it's all go.
It is all go, actually, yeah. We've been working on a new product, the Fireside Companion, our Christmas annual, and that's been occupying quite a bit of my time, but thankfully we'll be finished it tomorrow and then it's back to business.
Brilliant. And I talked to you about this annual previously, and it gives readers a chance to delve into the longer stories, I think, as well, and something that you won't always see in your daily or your weekly newspaper.
No, it is. It's built for the long read, and there's puzzles for kids and quizzes and that kind of thing. So it's something you're supposed to be able to, or we hope that you'll be able to dip in and out of over Christmas. You know, nostalgia is pretty heavy in it as well. So lots of stories looking back at pivotal events in the history of Carlow, that kind of thing. People, famous people and places.
And we've had plenty of those. John, since KCLR won the Business of the Year, what's it been like for you? Have people mentioned it to you in passing?
Absolutely, yeah, it's been great. As you mentioned, we were hugely surprised, after surprised, honoured, because it's a fantastic accolade. And also, I have to say, humbled, because, you've seen a small sample of the businesses around, and there's a fantastic business community. It's such an important part of society in the county, and to be numbered as a Business of the Year was really fantastic for everybody associated with KCLR. And by that I mean, our staff, because we have a fantastic team and we have a much bigger team than people would envisage. I mean, I think if we're putting together, a list of everybody who contributes and so on, you're not far off 80 or 90 people, so it's a huge team, and it's a great honour. It was a great honour for me with some of my colleagues to accept it on the night, but equally our listeners, because, our listeners are deeply involved in the station, and we're nothing without them. But on today, just to be part of such a vibrant business community is fantastic.
It sure is, and I think we feel it, Conal, in a small town and county, that businesses support other businesses. There's this sense of community among the businesses as well, that we want to help each other, give each other a leg up.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, as a small business ourselves, we depend on the services that are provided to us, and as a media outlet, we love to give publicity and promotion and any help we can to local businesses. I mean, we're all part of the same ecosystem. When local businesses do well, the county does well, everyone does well.
It just makes sense.
We're coming into the Shop Local campaign, Brian. We've just touched on it earlier on. Tell me about your part in that as a chamber. You're driving that all the time.
It's so important, Emer, shop and support local, because there is such a selection of products available across Carlow and services. Everything you're looking for, you can get from a Carlow company or a Carlow supplier. So there's no need to drive outside the county in a lot of ways. When you look at the craft expertise we have in the county, you look at the great selection of retailers we have. You go from Arboretum just down the other side of a river from us here now, go down to Borris, go down anywhere in the county, and just some great choice.
And well done to Arboretum Kilquade. By the way, I saw on my LinkedIn, I think last
Garden
night,
Centre
that
of the
they
Year.
picked up a Garden Centre of the Year gong at the Retail Excellence Awards.
Well, it is. It's a testament to the team in Arboretum, and it's a testament to everybody there, because do you know what? It's as I was saying kind of earlier on when we were talking, as an excellence is like a journey. And it is. It's easy enough to get to excellence. I suppose there's a lot of companies that can invest in different ways to do it. The hardest part is maintaining that excellence, continuing and innovating, while retaining that level. And it's so important, because it comes down to the skills, it comes down to the people in the businesses. And, you look at the workforce across Carlow, there's some really highly skilled people, and we're so lucky in this county.
That's the challenge, isn't it, for media, when I have Conal and John here, the challenge of keeping whether it's keeping the show on the road or meeting all your deadlines in the newspaper. That is a mammoth task. It's almost like a tsunami some weeks of information coming into you, but you also need to think bigger picture. You need to think about the future of the business. You need to think, are we doing things the right way? Can we do things differently? Because the consumer is changing, the markets are changing.
That's right, and the pace of change and the amount of change that's happened in the media sector, and I mean radio and newspapers, has been phenomenal. KCLR went on air in 2004, same year as Facebook started. Back at that time, there were a number of search engines. I think you had Alta Vista and you had different ones, Netscape and so on. Now you just have Google. So there's been huge change, but I think the basic elements remain the same, which is kind of human connection, human stories, and so on. And radio, and our local radio, which KCLR is in this area, and our local newspapers have a unique connection and can highlight local stories. And so we're delighted to have people support us by listening in, but people can't take either newspapers or radio for granted either. We try and provide quality content, highlight local businesses, as Conal was saying, and that's just very important in the community. And that's why it was just so great for us to be recognised in the way we were by Carlow Chamber, and we're very grateful for that.
Absolutely. And Conal, then coming up to Christmas, obviously hugely busy in a newsroom. Is it pandemonium only on a Monday, or is it like that on a Friday as well? What's it like?
It's pandemonium most days. Tuesday's a good day. Wednesday's an okay day.
There's nobody in there on a Tuesday, I'd say, because you're just wiped out after the week.
Yes, we're thinking about the week ahead.
You're strategically planning.
Strategically planning, that's exactly what we're doing, yeah.
That's it. And in terms of local businesses, do they have good budgets to advertise? Do they see the value of advertising?
Not necessarily, and this is a little bit of a bugbear of mine, that there's this notion that social media will relieve all small businesses of any necessity to advertise, and it's not actually true. I mean, I'm not here to sell advertising, by the way. I'm just pointing this out as someone who works in the business, that you can have all the followers you like and people will click. We find this actually in news stories. People will look at the headline, but they won't actually read the story. People might come across something that's on your social media offering, but they're not going to stop necessarily and take a look at it. If you want eyeballs on your products, or indeed ears, radio and local media are an excellent way to get your products and your messages across. I'm not a huge fan of people who think that they can just put everything on social media and that's it. God, we've saved a lot of money in advertising. Well, you haven't really. It's cheap to put it up, but because it's cheap,
sometimes it's also about more than selling, because it's about brand awareness. And Brian, I know as a chamber, you'll know that as well, like building brands it takes time, doesn't it?
It takes time, and you've got to be very careful about what is said about your brand. You've got to protect your brand and the image and that there as well. So it's important that the medium is right. There is, and it's about getting the right word out there so that people know about your brand and that as well, and its associations.
Okay, little do our panel know, but Conal O'Boyle, editor of the Carlow Nationalist, who won Business Support and Community Award, well done by the way, John Purcell from KCLR, the CEO with KCLR Business of the Year, and Brian O'Farrell from Carlow Chamber, you're about to taste the world's best sausages. They come all the way from Murphy Butchers in Tullow in County Carlow. John is going to do the honours holding the plate. I'll hold the mic for you, John. I'll let you taste the sausages. Relax there for a few minutes. We'll let the panel taste while I have a quick word with Councillor Michael Doran. I'll be back to find out how they're getting on. There's nothing worse than somebody putting a microphone under you when you're trying to have a sausage. Good morning, how are you?
Just finished mine here.
Oh, you just finished yours? How did you go?
They're world class, absolutely fantastic. Isn't it brilliant to have a Carlow company recognised like that, the best sausages in the world? So it's unreal when you think about it.
They're absolutely brilliant. And if you haven't tried the dry age steaks as well, they're worth a go as well.
That's next on the menu, I think, gamers are looking forward to that too.
Absolutely. How are things in Leighlinbridge, Michael?
Well, it's fantastic to have this event here this morning. Leighlinbridge is a wonderful village that has, I suppose, really come alive since the Lord Bagenal came here. I was very young when the Bagenal started here. I was in here the first evening, and it brought a focus to the village. But it shows, I suppose, really how a business, a successful business, can really enhance an area. And the village here has come on in leaps and bounds in the last 20 or 30 years. And business grows business. And one thing about Carlow, we have a wonderful advantage of that everybody can really get access to the movers and shakers in the county because everybody's connected. It's a small county, and through events like this, and Brian has been very active in connecting the chamber, I suppose, with the communities, and that's part of the job as well with ourselves on the council.
You've been busy as well. You've had your monthly meeting this week. We touched on earlier University Road. I know the Southern Ring Road as well. You're making some progress there. It's almost ready to go to tender.
Yeah, there's a lot of projects that are almost shovel-ready, Emer, that the council are very proactive, particularly in infrastructure, but also in things like housing. So when funding becomes available, that we are shovel-ready and that we can achieve real progression.
Are you looking forward to your man getting back in there as Taoiseach now? We have a rotating Taoiseach, so we'll have Fine Gael party leader Leo Varadkar back in shortly.
Yeah, it's the first time that we've ever seen a rotation Taoiseach in this fashion, and I wish him well for the years ahead. It's a very challenging time to be in government. There's a lot of tough decisions, particularly after COVID, and I suppose the economic situation across Europe. It is a tough time to be in government, but a government is working well together. It surprised me. Two adversaries, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, coming together in the Green Party. But it has been very cohesive. They've had to make difficult decisions. And, Leo will be there now for the next run into the election. So hopefully he'll do a good job.
Okay, thank you very much for the chat. And out of 10, what would you give the Murphy sausages in Tullow?
11 out of 10. They're fantastic.
Well done, and definitely worth a round of applause there. The man of the moment is Jim Murphy, and actually, I'll tell you what, Jim, you came with sausages, and we have socks, so wait till we get you a new pair of socks. Can I have a volunteer to give Jim a nice pair of detail menswear socks there? From Philip MacDonald, and we've a few more to give out, gentlemen, so you won't be going away empty-handed. Jim, I can't ask you for the recipe. I'd say it's patented at this stage now, but you're causing a huge storm. I mean, there's a run on these sausages. People are asking, where can I get them? People are coming to Tullow for them as well.
Yeah, it's unbelievable since we came back from America. I think the first week we came back, I made £500 of sausages in a week. And we started back on the Tuesday. Normally, you'd make £500 sausages in a month. So it's been going and going, and we've been working on branding in the background, and we've a lot of work done. I'm working with the enterprise board as well. I'm working with a food consultant called James Burke, so we're working on trying to get them out around the country as well.
Now, he is an expert. He knows his sausages.
James, yeah, well, unfortunately, the Super Queen sausage, We cooked them we gave him samples. He was down with us in the shop, and I think we just surpassed the Super Queen sausages, so that's a good start.
I think you definitely do. There seems to be a little kick in there as well. So I've had them bangers and mash with a bit of onions and gravy. They're on the menu once a week now in our house because they go down really, really well. But there seems to be something in there that adds more flavour than your typical sausage.
Yeah, I suppose making sausages, you have to be consistent with ingredients and the mixture, but consistency, texture has to be important. So when you mince them and put them through you have to use a bowl chopper for sausages. It's the only way. But the seasoning, it's a very, very old recipe. It's my grandfather's recipe from 1934. We've tweaked it a little bit to put in what you have to have sulfites and that for preservatives nowadays. But we kept to the main spices and seasonings of the 1934 recipe for my grandfather. So it's nice for him that we're carrying it over in 2022. So he'll be happy.
Now, you've done a lot of the hard work. So, Jim, we can't spoil the sausage. So tell me the perfect way to cook them. Because cooking them how you cook them is actually important with sausages.
Yeah, believe it or not, the casing that's on these sausages is for frying, really. The best way to cook a sausage is in a shallow pan of oil. I know these are deep fat fried, but there's a different casing for deep fat frying. It's a stronger casing, so it doesn't burst. But for best way to cook sausage is good olive oil.
Roll them in the oil first, do you?
Lots of oil. Doesn't have to be a hot pan, 4 or 5 is hot enough, and cook them then for about 10 minutes. Keep turning them.
You have to have patience, Jim. You have to stay there. It's a bit like stirring the gravy. You need to turn them all the time so that they're cooked perfectly.
Yeah, it does. The oven is okay, but it does dry out sausages. I wouldn't grill anything other than a slice of bread for toast. Grills are terrible.
There you are now. We have it from the expert, Jim Murphy from Murphy Butchers in Tullow. Very well done to you. I'm going to try one of those during the news. I might get caught and unable to speak if I took into them now. You're like the Dancing with the Stars judges now. We just need to figure out which one is Simon Cowell. What would you give the Murphy Butcher sausages, John?
Oh, I'd give it 10, absolutely.
Great
potential and fantastic talent.
And Conal, is this your first time to try them?
It is, yeah. I'd give them a solid 10 as well. I had 3. Which makes me an expert.
This is brilliant. It could be 3 10s for Jim. Brian O'Farrell, all the pressure is on you.
Well, I've got 2 sausage aficionados at home, and they'd probably give him 15s.
Seamus and Con love them.
And I just want to add in there, when we were talking about shop and support local, and it's key. And the thing is, if you walked into any other kind of shop to buy sausages, you're not going to hear the story like that behind them. And that's the key to the local businesses. You get so much more value than just buying a pair of socks. There's a lot more care goes into it. There's a lot more attention goes into it. You won't get that online, So out there, shop and support local. You will hear the story, the history, which is going back in the Murphy family, and so many other businesses.
Check out Brian O'Farrell's socks if you can get that on the
Detail
live
menswear.
stream. Detail Menswear, fantastic Mr. Fox going on here. You can get in touch with us at home by text 083 306 9696. The dinnersready.ie text line is open. You can keep entering the competition. Detail your own name and address. I'll be back live from the Lord Bagenal Inn after a short break.
KCLR Live, with thanks to June Doran Properties, 36 Dublin Street, Carlow. Commercial and residential auctioneers. Sales and lettings professionals. 059 910 50 86.
The KCLR text line 083 306 9696. Sponsored by dinnersready.ie. Serving up traditional favourites including bacon and cabbage, roast beef, roast lamb, salmon and lots more. 056 776 9890.
This Christmas, fraudsters will target people shopping online. That's why Bank of Ireland are looking out for your financial well-being. Remember, stop, think, check. Stop. Don't just click any old link. Think. Bank of Ireland will never send you texts or emails asking for your full 365 PIN or one-time passcode. And check, using their exclusive text checker by sending the word check followed by the Bank of Ireland message to 50365. For more info, search Bank of Ireland Security. And together, we won't let the fraudsters win.
Bank of Ireland. Begin. Bank of Ireland is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Adult Safeguarding Day takes place this month.
An important step to prevent adult abuse is to respect and support everybody's right to decision-making, including if someone is frail or living with a disability or serious illness. It's also essential to respond to adult abuse. If someone is at an immediate risk of harm, call 999 or 112. If worried about an ongoing concern, contact your safeguarding team at hse.ie/safeguarding. From Safeguarding Ireland, supported by the HSE, safeguardingday.ie.
Champion Green is turning Black Friday green this November. By supporting local, our communities will remain vibrant in the months ahead. Go to championgreen.ie for more details. Shop local, click local. Champion Green is supported by Kilkenny Design and Visa in association with Retail Excellence, Small Firms Association and Chambers Ireland.
At Super Value, we've got amazing offers to help you save, like Super Value Fresh Irish Cowboy Steak, save 33%. Connoisseur Sauvignon Blanc was €12, now €8. And don't forget, with Super Value's unbeatable own brand range, along with money off vouchers every week, Super Value makes saving money as easy as 1, 2, 3. Enjoy alcohol responsibly. T's and C's apply.
It's almost 11 o'clock. A good time to drop your car to Fill Up Ireland Tyres for your free NCT check. Call us on 056 77 90 857.
You're very welcome back to part 2 of today's KCLR live from the Lord Bagenal Inn. It's been a great morning so far. You can tune in online as well on the Carlow Chamber website. We're celebrating excellence here today. Lots more stories to tell right after your news headlines with Sinead.
Thanks, Seymour. Good morning. A local councillor is looking for urgent movement on the installation of 19 new CCTV cameras in Kilkenny City. The municipal district is in the 4th of 5 years, pledging its annual €50,000 discretionary spend completely to that project, which it's running in conjunction with An Garda Síochána. Councillor Andrew McGuinness outlines what's causing the delay.
I suppose the hold-up is how to implement it, how to manage it, who's going to be responsible for it, and where the CCTV monitors are going to be based. So that's where it's at now, and there is various legislation in there that has to be contended in terms of GDPR and the use of CCTV, and I know that the Gardaí are doing their absolute best to get through that, but as a public representative, I would like to see this now treated as a matter of urgency and implemented as soon as possible.
Former Irish diplomat doesn't believe the Russian ambassador to Ireland will be expelled from the country. There have been fresh calls for the government to consider such a move after the Kremlin banned 52 Irish politicians from travelling there, supposedly in retaliation for Ireland's support of EU sanctions. Yuri Filatov has been summoned to the Department of Foreign Affairs, where he's due to meet with the Secretary-General later. Meanwhile, a local military expert is confident that an investigation will reveal exactly who fired the missile that killed 2 people in Poland this week. Kieran Brennan says even if it was a Ukrainian missile, there will have to be a response from NATO, and that's likely to be a doubling down on support for Ukraine.
I think the real thing that's going to happen is it will ensure that Western and NATO countries will continue to supply Ukraine now with more sophisticated anti-air defence systems.
Tusla is reported to be facing huge challenges in relation to the recruitment and retention of staff. New figures show more than 400 employees left the organisation in the first 9 months of this year. The data shows the turnover rate among social workers is highest across the agency at 8%. Finally, it's claimed raising road toll costs will only divert traffic into towns and villages because motorists will try to avoid paying the bill. It comes as Transport Infrastructure Ireland confirmed an increase is coming in January. The price to use 9 out of Ireland's 10 toll roads will increase by up to 60% per journey. The Port Tunnel in Dublin will remain unchanged, though. Transport commentator Conor Faulkner believes people won't pay them and town centres will suffer as a result.
Likewise, the M8 in Fermoy, if you put a toll on a bypass, you send traffic into the town instead. Ireland has tolled its bypasses with all sorts of collateral problems. So every time you push up the charge, you will worsen that effect.
Now, just coming up on 4 minutes past 11, KCLR Sport and weather next.
At Irish Life Health, our benefit plan helps you embrace a healthier lifestyle. Get up to €250 back on a mix of benefits like fitness wearables, dietitians and sports clubs like your local GAA club. It's health insurance, but not as you know it. Search Irish Life Health.
Irish Life Health Act is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Terms and conditions apply. Call us to see exactly what's covered.
KCLR Sport.
Now, St Kieran's College will face Colosh the Weir of Johnstown in this year's Leinster Post-Primary Junior A hurling final. The City School defeated their rival CBS by 3-19 to 3-13 in yesterday's semi-final, while Johnstown got the better of Good Counsel College on a scoreline of 118 to 110. In ladies football, all Carlow matches and training have been suspended this weekend as a mark of respect to the former county chairperson Kathleen Mullins, who passed away this week. That's all Carlow ladies Gaelic football matches and training have been suspended this weekend. For these stories and more, you can check out our sports website, scoreline.ie.
KCLR Weather Word.
Forecasting. On Samsung Jet Cordless Vacuum Cleaners at Electro City Carlow and Kilkenny. You love this Samsung Black Friday event, now on at Electro City Carlow and Kilkenny. For more details, electrocity.ie.
Much of the fog has lifted at this stage. It will be a mostly dry day with some sunny spells and just isolated light showers. Quite cool though, with highs only 5 to 8 degrees. Right now it is 4 degrees in Kilkenny City and it's 5 in Carlow Town.
Temperatures on KCLR with thanks to Tile and Style Greycoat in Carlow. Carrying tiles, bathroomware, paints, timber flooring and new lighting section now open.
That's your latest news update. For more, go to kclr96fm.com and the KCLR app.
KCLR Live with thanks to June Doran Properties, 36 Dublin Street, Carlow. Your specialists in residential and commercial valuations, sales and consultancy. 059 910 50 86.
Thank you very much, Sinead. Good morning again. We're out and about today with KCLR Live and Carlow Chamber. We're celebrating excellence at the Lord Bagenal Inn. We're hearing lots of stories in the room of local business success. You can watch our live stream on Carlow Chamber's website. You can follow us on social media and keep your texts coming in for a competition, a €100 voucher for Detail menswear. Philip is in the room. He'll be giving us style advice a little bit later on, but you can keep your entries coming in 083 306 9696. And I'd say, Marcus McCormick, you're pretty good at the style now yourself, and I hear you're a great singer. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Emer, and thank you for the invite this morning. We're delighted to be here.
We're not having a sing-song though, Marcus.
No, absolutely not. It's too early in the day for that now.
Now, you won an award and your premises is stunning. You have the best presented premises in Carlow Town at the recent Carlow Business Awards, and that is for your property, DNG McCormick.
Thank you, Emer. Yeah, look, we're very proud of our building in Tullow Street. It's a landmark building in the town, and we're very proud of it. It's our head office. We have 3 offices around the area in Tullow and in Clane in County Kildare, but the building is very, very old, a lot of history, steeped in history. A number of Carlow families have occupied it before us, but has a couple of issues that old buildings carry, of course, and a bit of cost to go with it. But generally speaking, we're doing okay with it, yeah.
It's one of those iconic buildings in Carlow as well because it's on a corner, and it takes your breath away when you're around that corner. Since you've painted it, you've looked after it, it's made such a difference to the town. I bet people say that to you, that we notice it.
The feedback we got after winning this award was incredible. And the amount of people that made a comment about Carlow and the building in terms of its presentation. And unfortunately, they mentioned a number of other, not particular businesses, but saying that it's a pity that a lot of the people in the town don't present their buildings maybe to similar condition and finish. Really and truly, hand on heart, what we did before we won this award was we painted the building and it transformed it. And we put a navy colour up on top. And it seems to have attracted a lot of interest and obviously caught the eyes of the judges in this particular competition.
It's just so clean and fresh looking. It's absolutely gorgeous. How is the property market right now? I know yourself and Paul, you're in a family business. You're great employers. You've been around for a long time as well when we're talking about longevity and providing local employment in Carlow, Tullow and Clane. For how many years now?
We're 25 years in business now, Emer, and Paul, my brother, are in partnership. We have 12 staff. We have a great team, excellent team across the 3 offices. And luckily, our market share is continuing to grow year on year. We're blessed to be involved with the D&G franchise group as well, which adds a huge amount of value to our business and becoming one of the better known national brands across the country.
What's it like working with your brother?
Well, we operate, believe it or not, we're only brothers, only siblings. We have never had a row. He's an incredible man, and he runs the office in Clane, and I'm down in Carlow. So we keep our distance, but hand on heart, we're the best of friends.
That's fantastic. And I know that's true because years ago, when my sister was a young medical student, you gave her a job in the office on Barrack Street. and she always told me that you were a brilliant person to work for.
She was incredible. She was studying at the time when she came into us on Saturday morning. And at the time, I suppose I was a lot younger than I am now, and I was a bit of a wild character back then, and Friday nights was generally the night out after the week's work. So Saturday morning, I'd come into the office, and Sinead would be lecturing me about liver and damage to my liver and the volume of alcohol and whatever. But
And she's still doing that, but to me now instead of you.
But she was great crack, and tell you, she was an incredible young lady that came into the office, and we remember her with very, very fond memories.
She's home from Australia at the moment, so I'll tell her you were asking for her.
Give her my regards, please.
It's great to see a business 25 years. We kind of said it there almost as a throwaway remark. 25 years is a long time, so since you've been a very young man starting out, did you think back then you'd still be here and successful at this stage? Very successful.
I suppose when you're that young starting out, you don't think much further than the week ahead. We've had our tough times, believe me. The recession hit us very difficult, as it did the property market across the world. We were lucky that we survived it and got out the far side of it. And again, I give credit to the staff that we have. They're just a top-class team, and everyone got stuck in and worked their way through it, and we got out the far side of it, and we're continuing to try and grow our business now.
Who are your clients now, Marcus? Your biggest demand? Are people downsizing? Do you have the first-time buyers still on the hunt, probably looking for something in the second-hand market?
This year, for definite, without shadow of a doubt, it's all first-time buyers, young couples, mortgage approved, first-time purchases. It's lovely to watch them coming through, finding their dream homes and setting up their life and so on for the future. The investors are gone completely out of the market. We've seen a lot of our investors actually selling up and getting away from the rented properties, unfortunately. But that's creating a bit of supply for the younger couples, because there's little or no new builds happening in County Carlow, a little bit more happening in County Kildare and that side of it. But have to say, generally speaking, the purchasers this year have been probably 80% first-time buyers.
Are the developers giving you any feedback? Would they like to see maybe conditions being more favourable that would allow them to build new homes, and then, you'd be meeting the demand that's there?
Well, just this week, interesting enough, I met a builder on Monday night in the office for probably the guts of 2 hours, going through prices in Carlow and what's realistic and what can be achieved, and he seems hopeful and confident that maybe next year will be the year that'll kick off. So without saying too much now, but we are expecting to see a bit of an increase in supply of new properties in Carlow. And that's really what the young couples are after, the new A-rated, efficient houses for the future,
Yeah, there's fantastic technology in the new homes now when it comes to heating and all of that. Well done to you, Marcus. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. You can stay with us on stage. We've Anne Kelly as well, and Anne, it's brilliant to see you, and it was great to see you pop up on stage on the night with your award. Anne & Co is the name of your business, and I know some of our listeners may have known you previously as AK Graphics.
That's correct, yeah.
You had a great kind of, I'm sure, bounce afterwards.
We did have a great bounce. Was really surprised that we actually got the award, but it does give us a great boost to the actual team when you win something like that, because it's great to get the local achievement, and then you get a lot of good PR out of it as well, which is really good. So we're very proud to win something like this, because we've been in business now for 28 years. I'm actually in business longer than Marcus.
Well done.
So, yeah, it's changed a lot over the years, and we did rebrand ourselves last year. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to expand our business a little bit more, because our name had a kind of an old interpretation. So it's been really good. It's been difficult, though, I suppose, in trying to rebrand when you're in COVID and then we're out of COVID. But businesses have been very, very good to us. A lot of the business we work for are all repeat business. It's all on a retainer basis, but we're very closely working with a lot of our customers, and we're lucky we work in a lot of different industries, because it's all about creative thinking, strategic thinking, all about being very, very creative in how you sell something.
Right, and professional services, that's the award that you won on the night.
Exactly.
So for businesses who are tuned in, what difference can you make, Anne, to their bottom line? And I know it's all part of a process.
It's all part of a process, but it really is all about problem solving for businesses. Business come and they say they have an issue and this is what they want to do, but sometimes that actually isn't the issue when you actually delve into it. But it's all about trying to, I suppose our aim is creative thinking and driving business further, and making new leads. So it's a lot of digital and it's a lot of print, but thankfully there's still, I'm delighted to hear the nationalists there talking, it's still a huge amount of emphasis on the print element because there's so much email related and so much social media related. The trends are changing a little bit again. So, you know, the industry is changing all the time, but you've got to be very creative in how you figure out how you're going to actually gain a new customer or how you gain a new lead. So you need to do a lot of homework first, and that's where I have a great team in thinking about things and thinking about strategic thinking and creative thinking and how you're going to solve a problem.
And do you work with multinationals, or is it the small, medium businesses that are your greatest clients?
There's a huge variety. There's small businesses, medium businesses, but we also work with a lot of international brands as well. So thankfully in COVID we were able to do a lot more work outside the country, and that's been really good for us as well, because time differences work great for a lot of the global companies. So any of them in America, we have the work done in advance, which is great, and they love that, like, you know. But again, you don't work with those companies until they understand that you understand their brand and you know the rules and regulations with their brand and how they actually work. So it's great to have that, though.
That's remarkable. So the efficiencies there,
Mm.
you're taking advantage of that with the States, that
Yeah.
by the time they're
Yeah.
at their desk, they're
Yeah.
reviewing work that you did in your day, but
Yeah.
middle of the night for them.
It's great, yeah. You get all the emails in the middle of the night, and it's good. But look, there's still an awful lot of local businesses. There's an awful lot of Carlow business that work with us. We've been there a long time with a lot of local Carlow business, and they've been really good to us. So it's great. It's a great county for business.
And in case we pass by some of your work daily and don't realise, would you mention that to us? Are there any brands or any companies that we might associate with your business?
We do a lot of work with Halo Care, and we do a lot of work with Keenan's Altec, and we do a lot of work with Tirlawn, which is Glambia. So all those local businesses we work with on a daily basis.
Huge companies.
Huge companies who are being very careful on their spend now. They are being careful on their spend, but you know, I think that's good in another way because people are thinking about things differently. We've all got to be careful in how we step to the next level in next year.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Anne Kelly from Anne & Co. For joining us this morning. And Rowena Dooley, you're very welcome to the programme, Rowena. And
Thanks
you
for
are
having me, Emer.
dealer principal at Dooley Motors and also vice president of our chamber. And the chamber, you've been an incredible force for telling people about what's going on in the county.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Brian may have mentioned earlier, we're kicking off our Shop Local, Shop Carlow campaign with the chamber over the next couple of weeks in conjunction with the local enterprise office. So the message is being brought out loud and clear here, you know, continue to support local and keep the jobs local. It's so important now more than ever.
It sure is, and as part of your own local family business as well, you've expanded your brands. I'm hearing lots about Fiat is there. You still have Ford and Kia, but you have Fiat and Jeep now as well.
That's right, Emer, yeah. We're in business now, I'll brag, in 33 years this year. I'm only involved the last sort of 21. But look, it's like everyone's business, it's an ever-changing environment. Our industry, like most others, have experienced supply shortages, semiconductor problems, and all sorts of various problems over the last couple of years. And it just made us refocus over the last year or two to say, right, what more can we offer out of the premises that we have and the people that we have to keep everything viable and continue to offer a value offering. So we expanded in conjunction with the Gowan Group, and we've taken on Fiat, the Fiat Professional brand, which is vans, and also Jeep. So 3 new franchises. So hopefully they'll bring us to another level.
That's brilliant. And what a lot of people maybe didn't realise, Rowena, until they went about looking at buying a new car, is that the demand was such, the pent-up demand, and on top of that, the factories slowing down somewhat during COVID, it put enormous pressure on dealerships like yours, trying to keep everybody happy, trying to find that new car for them, and maintaining their expectations. And you managed to do that really well. And the supply of vans as well at the time, if we think back up to a year ago, it was something else, the demand that was there.
We had never seen anything like the shortage, I suppose, that we all experienced right across all brands. But thankfully, that's somewhat coming back to some level of normality. Might not go back to the same levels, but certainly as well on the electric vehicle side of things, we've just experienced unprecedented demands and inquiries. So, and supply has certainly not caught up there. But in the general sense, though, it's coming back to more normal terms of supply. But electric vehicles are where there's a big shortage, and supply shortage. So
And a lot of people are looking at that, despite the cost of electricity at the moment going up. They're probably thinking more long term, Rowena, that this is their plan going forward. Maybe
definitely, Emer, definitely. I suppose, like you say, the cost of fuel and everything, and even just everybody's awareness of where it's going. I mean, the market for electric vehicles this time last year to the end of October was about 8%, and it's gone up to 14%. Now, look, there's a challenge there with the costings of them. They're not the most affordable vehicle, and that's hence why we went into the Fiat side of the house as a smaller offering there, a more valuable offering for smaller electric cars. But
then you look at countries, Rowena, like Norway, where they get heavily subsidised to buy electric cars. Would you like to see something like that here that might be more of an incentive, because we need to bring the cost of them down?
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, there are supports there in place, but the government are talking about pulling them back, which is certainly something that wouldn't work, because they have huge objectives for 2030 in terms of the environmental emission targets. So it has to go hand in hand. The supports need to stay the same, and in fact need to be strengthened to make them more affordable for people, also for vans, for the commercial fleet. But we will get there. It just might not be as quickly as the government see it by 2030.
I talked to Marcus about working in a family business, and at least Paul is in Clane, and I know he gets on great with Paul, but in your case, Rowena, you're all together, and you're very much together, yourself, your dad, your brother. I know your mum, I'm sure, helps as well, and it's a real family affair.
It is, I suppose it is. Mum and Dad started it in 1989, and they took over from Sheridan's at the time, but my three brothers work alongside me now, and my dad's still very much involved in the business. So, look, we all have our own areas of responsibility and our own output, I suppose, that we have to perform on. And most days, it works well.
Brilliant. And I know your dad is great for the odd school run as well.
Oh, he
your
sure
mum and dad, you need the village around you when you're in business.
Absolutely, yes, for sure.
Fantastic. Well, a big hello to everybody in Dooley's, to DNG as well. Are they tuned in Clane on the app?
All right, in fairness, yeah.
Great stuff. Thanks a million to Marcus. Thanks to Anne Kelly. Thanks to Rowena Dooley. I'm going to pop back into the audience now to say hello to Nora Ryan, because she's also up for a Powerhouse Woman in Business Award tomorrow at the Woodford Dolmen. Nora, are you excited?
I'm very excited. I'm honoured and humbled to be shortlisted with this incredible group of ladies. So just delighted to be there and looking forward to a good night.
Well, best wishes. Have you sorted the Guna?
Oh, absolutely. There's been Gunas arriving in Barrow training all week for all the girls. I can tell you we'll be there in force tomorrow night.
It's great to have a night to celebrate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to just recognise all the great businesses that there are around Carlow and to be recognised. So, it's a fantastic achievement.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, best wishes with it. We're here with Hedgehog Productions. So, Mike, you're going to follow me. We're really giving Mike a good workout today, because I'm going across the room to say good morning to Edmund Connolly from Southeast Regional Skills. I might sit here, Edmund. How are you this morning?
Very well, Emer. Delighted to be here, and it's wonderful to see such a selection of fantastic businesses in Carlow.
Now, you're a huge supporter of the Carlow Business Awards, Edmund, as well. You're very aware of what's going on the ground.
Yes, I suppose my role is to work with enterprise and industry around Carlow to help them engage with the education and training providers that are here available to them. So it's to support industry to train and upskill their staff.
Right, and hearing some of the stories, like earlier when I was talking to DPF and Carlow Toolmaking, as a local, it just makes me very proud that we grew these Indigenous, they started small, and look at what they're doing now on global markets.
Yes, indeed. These are world-class local companies, no doubt about it. They're competing at the highest level, the standards. But one thing I notice with these companies, and I'd have a nice bit of contact with them, they're committed to developing their staff. They're focused on upskilling, training, best practice. They're a real commitment to excellence, and I think that's really the key to it.
They sure do, because I know Pat Ammond is a massive supporter of the apprenticeships programme, and Gabrielle is here as well from the ETB. Apprenticeships are finally getting the recognition that they deserve. I know the Higher Education Minister, Simon Harris, always mentions apprenticeship programmes to me when he's on KCLR, Gabrielle.
Morning, Emer. Yeah, we're delighted with Kilkenny and Carlow Education and Training Board. We have a vast variety of apprenticeships that are on offer. particularly here in Carlow, we have lots of tool making apprenticeships, and we recently had our apprenticeship award that we hosted on regionally, where over 300 people were graduated with their apprenticeships. So we work with Further Education and Training Solutions for Business, is a service that we offer to local businesses, and we're delighted to see so many businesses that we know here today. And as Edmund says, the key to the excellence is that investment in the staff, and it's that investment in people's careers within their business, and investing in staff and upskilling in order to achieve the business's aims. So really, I suppose we're a local, we're the arm here we provide government funded training for local businesses.
Right, and having the mix of apprenticeships, third level education, and not just third level education, but university education in Carlow, is a game changer. That we're talking now about it being such a part of everything. And in terms of recruitment, there's so many challenges getting good staff. So we need a pipeline all the time. Owen is with me from the SETU. Good morning, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm great. And tell me about how you see your role as regards the relationships that you have, the strategic relationships with these local companies.
Yeah, so I suppose very similar to Edmund and Gabriella, we have to work very closely with local enterprise. I think Conal mentioned that we're part of a greater ecosystem, and I suppose our success as an entity is very much dependent on the success of local companies. And I suppose within the Faculty of Lifelong Learning in SETU Carlow, we recognise skill deficits in two ways. One is through the expert group on future skill needs, which is probably more of a national picture. But the other way we do it is by working closely with the likes of Edmund to develop programs that are suited and geared towards local industry. So, for example, John Purcell mentioned KCLR being established in 2004 and the change that your sector has undergone. So last year we developed a new program, higher diploma in journalism and new media content, which we've rolled out. And again, it's to address that evolving sense of your sector. And that's what we try and do across all sectors, is listen to the employers, try and identify where the skill gaps are appearing, and then try and develop programs that are suited to the employer and to the employee.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for that. It's great to hear from the SETU and the ETB here this morning, and also South East Regional Skills. We're live from the beautiful Lord Bagenal Inn this morning. That's what happens when you're looking at a camera and you're used to the radio. We would love you at home to text if you'd like to win our competition. Text detail if you'd like to win a €100 voucher for Details Menswear to 083 306 9696. Back from the Bagenal after these.
KCLR Live, with thanks to June Doran Properties, 36 Dublin Street, Carlow, leading the way in residential and commercial properties. 059 910 50 86.
Do you live in Kilkenny City or County? Would you like to gain a QQI qualification in healthcare, childcare, caring for the environment, sport recreation or office administration? Classes are available morning and evening subject to criteria. To find out more, contact Back to Education Initiative Kilkenny on 056 770 1020. BTEI Back to Education Initiative is part of the Kilkenny and Carlow Education and Training Board, co-funded by the Government of Ireland and the European Union.
No one wants their child to grow up to be homeless on Christmas Day. My parents certainly didn't. But something happened to me when I was 10. My whole life eventually went off the rails. I was just a man sleeping rough. No hope, no future. I wanted to close my eyes and never wake up. But with the help from people who care, I felt wanted, cared for and loved. I started to heal.
Supporting Simon this Christmas is more than a gift. Please donate today at southeastsimon.ie.
Saturday, November 26th, Santa Claus is arriving to Market Cross with magic in the air. The fun starts at 12 before his big arrival at 12:30, followed by a magical afternoon in our winter Wonderland grotto. For details, find Market Cross online.
The winds have changed for Bord na Móna, and commitment to green energy has become our home turf. It started with Ireland's first onshore wind farm at our Bellacorrick site in County Mayo, and we didn't stop there. Now we're delivering renewable energy including solar, wind, battery and biomass. Surprised? Well, now you know. We're more than Mona. For more on our climate solutions, visit bordnamona.ie.
Join us for festive afternoon tea at Avalon House Hotel. You'll be treated to a glass of Prosecco, festive afternoon tea, and entertainment by a harpist in the charming surroundings of the Avalon House Hotel. December 10th at 1:30 p.m. Booking is essential. To book your table, call 056 444 1302.
Kilkenny County Council want to hear from the citizens of Kilkenny on how we shape mobility patterns and move to, from and through the city in the future. This plan aims to improve accessibility and quality of life for all and to encourage the use of more sustainable modes of transport. Come along to the Medieval Mile Museum on Tuesday, the 22nd of November between 4 and 8 p.m. and have your say in the development of a sustainable urban mobility plan for Kilkenny City.
Would you like help caring for your loved one at a manageable cost? Let us help you help them. Person Care is a Carlow-based home care service provider who provide local carers for overnight care, daytime visits and companionship care. Person Care, here to make a difference. For full details, visit personcare.ie.
Weekday mornings from 10 till 12. This is KCLR Live.
We're live from the Lord Bagenal. We're celebrating excellence this morning. We've lots of great stories in the room for you between now and 12 o'clock. Philip MacDonald is here from Detail Menswear. Sarah Collins is with me from Lawler's Furniture and Flooring. And Sarah, I'll start with you because Lawler's won Best Online Presence Award. And I was staggered when I logged on before the award ceremony, just checking some of the figures and seeing the interaction you have, whether it's on Instagram or on Facebook, on your website. You have a really good setup and you're very connected to your customers.
Yeah, thank you for having us here today, Emer. Yeah, well, look, the changing trends in retail, you know, people are really kind of these days looking for like a kind of an omni-channel approach to retail, I think. You know, people kind of expect to not only be able to walk into a store and touch and feel products, but then they also like to be able to shop at home and just really kind of, really know what they're buying. And so for us at Lawler's, you know, we make a really big effort to kind of make that really good connection with our customers. Really kind of building our brand awareness, you know, making sure that they kind of know the people behind the brand, not only just the products we sell, the type of services we offer, but also the people who kind of are there every day to offer their expertise. Because Lawler's has been in business for a short period of time now, about 6 years. But in those short 6 years, you know, the business has really gone from strength to strength, starting from just being a flooring business and then moving into furniture and just offering, you know, everything now from, you know, custom-made Irish sofas to, everything from, beautiful Irish scatterbox cushions. So, you know, we really noticed people during COVID times kind of really gravitating towards kind of shopping local and, you know, really kind of looking for Irish businesses, Irish brands and things kind of made locally. And, you know, that's really important to our customers.
And I think sustainability and the conscience that a lot of us have when it comes to shopping now, it's benefiting the local market because we're thinking about where we're spending. We don't want, to have products traveling too far either. And the fact that they can interact with you if anything goes wrong sometimes, or if it's an issue with sizing or whatever, that you're available on the ground all the time, that we know where to find you.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, we're located there in Great Cullen and, you know, people can pop in, you know, they can chat with us, you know, they can talk us through, for instance, if they want to, change up their sitting room, for instance, they can come in and really kind of just have that chat, kind of sit down and talk to our team, tell them exactly what they want, and then our team will help them kind of put that vision into reality. And really having that customer service and that, you know, that local kind of knowledge and that local, somewhere to go in and visit locally, it's very important to customers. And we really see that trend kind of moving that way.
It's testament to your hard work that you're only 6 years on the go because you do seem a lot more established. It's hard to believe it's only been 6 years, and from those humble beginnings, family flooring business, what you're describing to me now is interiors, and it's interior expertise and excellence.
Well, that's it. And I think when people come into our showroom in Great Cullen, you know, they kind of they expect to kind of to be inspired, and that's what we want. That's what we want to do. We want to inspire people. We want people to come in and really kind of visualize what their homes could look like, and really listen to what they want. And you know, although we won the best online presence, you know, that you know, having all that content on social media and having an excellent website that people feel confident using, you know, having that local customer service, having that local kind of place where people can go and kind of, like I said, touch and feel the products is very important too.
Well done. For the last day or so, Philip MacDonald, I've been hearing all sorts. The KCLR text line is brilliant for a story. Now, I can't read them all out on air, but just about how your staff know every man's size, whether it's the trousers, the shirts, the jackets, the blazers. Even the Cathaoirleach walked into the studio yesterday, Brian O'Donoghue, and he was looking very suave. And I said, "Is that a detailed menswear jacket?" He said, "It is, Emer."
Well, I suppose knowing your customer is very important. I'll give you a great example. We had an online order come in, and I just recognised the name, and then I twigged the size that the person had put down for themselves. And I said, "No, that's not going to work." So I actually called the person, and it turned out that I was right, and I sent out the size smaller.
Right.
No, it's actually bigger.
See, you're so diplomatic, but you meet your customers. So we'd say if someone hasn't been in a while, you would maybe clock them on Tullow Street, and then when they come in looking for something, you'll know if their size has changed because you have that eye for tailoring. You know what you're looking at.
We do have the eye for tailoring, and I suppose the creepy one is when you know their shoe size. That really throws them all together. But
because you remember the regular people, what their order is almost.
Yeah, the people are very, you know, very set in their ways at times. But, you know, we try to push the boundaries with people as well. And it's interesting that the majority, I suppose 80% of our customers are women, and buying for boyfriends, husbands, partners, whatever it is. And they tend to be a little bit more open to pushing the envelope a little bit with regards to fashion, and definitely pushing their man into something a little bit more progressive, let's say.
That's really interesting that 80% of the customers are women. So they're obviously buying for the men in their lives.
Absolutely, yeah. And I don't know where that comes from. I suppose there was a tradition years ago that mothers provided for husbands and kids and all of that. And I suppose it's continuing a little bit.
We like to dress our men sometimes.
We do like to dress our men.
Well, I'm looking at your socks. You knew I was going to ask you about these.
You always ask me about the socks.
So today you got a very special pair out.
Yeah, I got out the horses and jockeys for Willie Mullen's country, so that's what we did today.
You sure did. And for Hewick, our great horse who paid a visit to Leighlinbridge recently. Tell me about the team that you have, Philip, because people might underestimate and think there's only a couple of you in there, but you have an incredible team. You're on High Street in Kilkenny, you're at Potato Market in Carlow.
Yeah, it's myself and Carl, like when we won the award, like we're just so proud of the team. It's these guys that push it every single day, and I think like we did a draw for the World Cup last night, and there was 16 names in the pot, and a couple of them didn't get involved or whatever, but I think we've over 20 between full-time and part-time at the moment.
That's something else. And again, family business as well. I know you had a very proud tradition from generation to generation in detail menswear. You learnt your trade.
Yeah, I learnt my trade through my dad, Tom. My dad was on Tullow Street for all his life, really. He went in there in 1957, I think it was, as a trainee. And he did his time on Tullow Street and then went on to America and did some training in America, and then came back and bought Max in 1976, I think it was. So from that then we developed and bought Potato Market. We're actually there 34 years, so we kind of trumped Rowena there by just 1 year, but we're actually the oldest business on Tullow Street. Or not on Tullow Street, on Potato Market.
That's amazing, because we've seen lots of businesses come and go. You've been there for over 3 decades, and a really crucial premises as well, because Marcus was talking to us about his premises on Tullow Street, and you similarly on that corner. I know you have the Exchange beside you now, but I mean, it's fantastic to see your window so bright, even during COVID, open. as in the window bright, everything available there for people and for people to see what's going on, to have a business that's vibrant.
Yeah, it's for us, I suppose, with the changing of the demographics within the town, we kind of got lucky where we are positioned now, that we're probably front and center. We're very proud of the building. It really is a landmark building on Potato Market. And to have the exchange there beside us now is just fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
That's great. Well, can I say thank you to you at Detail as well, because I believe you can almost single-handedly, Philip, Detail, take credit for making the men in Carlow a lot more stylish. Because I see them now, they have pushed the boundaries out. They're wearing the different coloured trousers. They have the gorgeous, like your ensemble here, your jumper underneath your blazer, and you've just done such a good job.
Yeah, it's just, I suppose it's like everything. We're always looking forward. We're always going to trade fairs. We're always seeing what the next trend is. Like, if you can imagine, like, we're now looking for next Christmas. We're already in that mode of buying for next Christmas. So we're always chasing it and always being progressive with it, you know.
Who would you most like to dress? I was watching Ronaldo's interview with Piers Morgan last night. He's a stylish man, but who would you most like to dress if you could dress a celeb?
Definitely Marty Morrissey.
Marty Morrissey. Well, we could arrange that. Listen, thank you so much, Philip, from Detail. Thanks a million and well done on your award. Retailer of the Year, folks, at the Carlow Business Awards. And also thank you very much, Sarah Collins, for winning Best Online Presence for Lawler's Furniture and Flooring. We'll give them a round of applause. We are live from the Lord Bagenal. Some of your texts coming in relation to the sausages. How much pork is in the sausages? Frances is listening in County Kilkenny. She's dying to know. And Ethna's in the audience with Jim. Can you answer that, Jim?
Yes, so it's in pork sausages, the mix is 80% meat content. But don't be fooled by a lot of packages in 80%. The mix of that 80% has to have the right fat to lean ratio, or your sausage it'll burst in the pan. It'll too much lean meat. So 80% is also, it's what fat and meat content, but it's 80% in total.
Okay.
In our sausages.
That's it. That's the expert answer for you there, Francis. And another texter says the Lord Bagenal is a fantastic place for a wedding. The boss himself is always moving around. He's seen running everything, always running, and it's well known he is just the best boss, and that's from a Bilbo customer. I'm not sure if James, he's still running around looking after everyone here this morning. We'll be back very shortly. We have to take a quick break, back with more celebrating excellence here in the Lord Bagenal this morning. Join us after these.
KCLR Live, with thanks to June Doran Properties, 36 Dublin Street, Carlow, opening the door to your dream property. Call June 059 910 50 86.
KCLR Live Sport this weekend.
This weekend sees Clonmore one game away from a place in this year's Leinster Junior Football Championship final. They'll have to get through Meath champions Castletown first, and we'll be live from Netwatch Cullen Park this Saturday with the Scoreline Sports team to bring you all the action. That's the AIB Leinster Club Junior Football Championship semi-final. Clonmore versus Castletown. This Saturday at 1 o'clock on our Carlow frequencies. With thanks to Woodside Garden Products Hackettstown, supplying bark mulch, equestrian surfaces, animal bedding and firewood. Visit woodsidebark.ie.
Since she got her free hearing aids with her PRSI at Specsavers, Roisin is a changed woman. Music has never sounded better, and that makes her dance. And dance. And dance. Her singing, though, well...
Free hearing aids with PRSI at Specsavers. Music to your ears. Find out more online. Terms and conditions apply.
At Christmas, we all have a wish list. You know, jobs around the house you wish someone else would look after. Well, how's this for a Christmas miracle? For a limited time, Smart Cleaning will get your stairs and landing carpet cleaned for just €70. With pre-Christmas special offers also on oven and sofa cleaning. Book today. For clever cleaning, think smartcleaning.ie.
Fury as Irish beef prices lag behind South America. In this week's Irish Farmers Journal, factories come under pressure to lift beef prices ahead of World Cup demand. Farmers banned from burning bushes in 2023. €50,000 grant to refurbish derelict houses opens. Department looking at options for farmers locked out of agri-environmental schemes. Find out how much you can be paid for scrub next year. Plus, don't miss a 10-page tractor special inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal. You cannot afford to miss it.
Just when you thought all Black Fridays are the same, nothing too exciting. Easy Living Interiors has a massive sale and the offers are so inviting. Great deals, incredible steals in living, dining and more. Sofas, chairs, beds, homewares, all kinds of festive decor. Christmas trees, baubles, wreaths, your home will look amazing. Our Black Friday sale, online and in-store, you won't believe how much you're saving. Easy Living Interiors, Waterford, Wexford and Four Lakes Retail Park, Carlow. Black Friday sale now on.
At Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles, we put safety first. If you drive a van for work, you should too. A Road Safety Authority study revealed more than a quarter of fatal and serious injury collisions involving a light commercial vehicle occur between 4 and 8 p.m. Remember, tiredness kills. Stop safely, have a caffeinated drink, and take a 15-minute nap. Keep moving safely. With Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles and the Road Safety Authority, help drive safety home. Visit volkswagenvans.ie/advice.
Your van, it's everything. Your supplies carrier, your toolbox, your workmate, your business card. If it's reliable, your business is reliable. So if you're upgrading to a new 231 or looking to switch to an electric van, choose a Ford Transit and maximize your productivity. The Ford commercial vehicle range, including the new all-electric e-Transit, is now ready for your business in 2023. Ford Commercial Vehicles, driving productivity. Visit Ford.ie for latest promotions.
Weekday mornings from 10 till 12. This is KCLR Live.
We're live and we're out and about celebrating excellence this morning. We're at the beautiful Lord Bagenal Inn and I'm delighted to be joined by Lisa from the Snuggery, and she has an absolutely gorgeous business. Lisa, good morning. How are you?
Hi, Emer. Good, thanks now. Yeah, delighted to be here this morning now.
And share with our listeners what you do at the Snuggery.
So the Snuggery launched in 2021 and we're an online gift shop, and our ethos is made up of two main parts. We champion independent design, so we work with a lot of Irish crafters and makers, and all of our brands are making good eco-conscious decisions, so sustainability is really important to us as well.
So beautiful gift ideas on your website. So you'll be shopping local, online. Give us your website.
So we're thesnuggery.ie.
Thesnuggery.ie. You've lovely handmade gifts, cards, crafts, as you mentioned.
That's it. Lots of unique bits and pieces you won't really see too many places. A lot of Irish products, and we work with a couple of European makers as well that have really good sustainability ethoses, which is really important to us. But lots of lovely Oscar products as well.
Untuk mahu so nahana dasa or na marhampla mulin nahana own, or any nice little phrases or sayings on your mugs or on your products.
That's it, well, especially our cartine now with some beautiful cards that are made by Irish designers.
They're hard to get actually, so that's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, lovely selection.
Corti Gaelga.
Instagram and Facebook as well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much to Lisa from the Snuggery. We'll have a look at that later on. Now, I'm nearly afraid to pronounce the name of your business, Tricia. Taking a deep breath here. Sit Happens. How are you this morning?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. And that is the name of your business. Sit Happens.
Sit Happens because it does.
Because you're a dog trainer and you can make it happen.
Yes, well, I, teach the dog how to sit rather than force the dog how to sit. So, yeah.
And there's no such thing as a bad dog?
No, never. Just untrained dogs that haven't met me.
Or bad owners?
No, there's no such thing as a bad owner.
You can sort us out?
Yes. Big or small?
Right. I have so many issues with the dogs, so I'm just going to try this out while I have an expert. What about a dog who doesn't like wooden floors? You need a lot of mats and a lot of motivation to get him to move from mat to mat.
Okay, how many mats have you got down?
Well, he doesn't like wooden floors at all.
Okay, sure, give me
an anxious little thing.
Oh, bless. Bit of desensitization there. I'll call over and sort that out for you, no bother at all.
No bother. This guy would be a special case now. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Is that true?
No, that's absolutely not true. I had a 10-year-old Yorkshire Terrier that I taught how to sit for the very first time. Family were very happy. Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
You obviously love what you do, so people can find out more about you. Sit Happens. You're very active online as well.
Yes, my Instagram page is alive with posts and stuff, and people love seeing the dogs. They love seeing the progress, and so we do little videos of when they started and 6 weeks later, and it's lovely. So it's really nice.
And they love seeing you as well because you're absolutely gorgeous. You do a lot of modelling, don't you?
Haven't done that in a while now. The business has taken over, but yeah, I used to dab in it.
Yeah, you more than dabbed in it.
Yeah.
Well done. Thanks a million for chatting to us. I'm moving along the line here now to say good morning to Michael Condon from Jones's Business Systems. Michael, how are you today?
I'm great, Emer.
Michael, you have an extraordinary story and your business has grown so much over the last few years.
Absolutely, and we were thrilled to win the Family Business of the Year award. It was a huge surprise to us with all of the different businesses of Carlow that were in it. We were thrilled and very proud to win it.
It's a great accolade, and I think it gives us an opportunity to find out more about a business like Jones's, because we might associate you with just one thing, for instance, like the back to school, the stationery or the books, but you're about a lot more than that, and you're a huge employer as well.
I suppose I often describe the business, the way people see it as the retail, as the tip of the iceberg. We do an awful lot of stuff in the background, which would be like supplying supplies to the government departments. We do furniture fit-outs for, say, some of the national insurance companies who'd have 30, 40 offices around the country. Our IT side support businesses right from remote support to cyber security, all that kind of stuff. So there's an awful lot in the background that goes on. I suppose our team also has grown now at this stage to 120 people. So there's an awful lot goes on in the background that, as you rightly say, people would see our back to school retail and think that's it. But as I say, there's a lot more under the water that goes on.
You have a huge turnover as well, and as you mentioned, over 100 staff. That has a big knock-on effect, a positive impact on the local community, because many of them are living local, are rearing their families here.
Absolutely. Everything from, as the payroll goes around, and I think there's statistics out there that say it multiplies throughout the economy, the local economy, but it also gives us the opportunity to support everything from schools to charities to all that kind of stuff that we do, and delighted to do that. It stays in the local economy and goes around, and the talk of supporting local here this morning is more important than ever.
Brilliant. Well done. Continued success to Jones's Business Systems, and congratulations on your award, Family Business of the Year. Thank you to Michael Condon for joining us. Thanks to Tricia as well from Sit Happens and the snuggery.ie for the gifts. The gentlemen are chatting here. I think they're admiring each other's socks. Good morning to you, Alex. How are you today from Huntington Castle?
Good morning, Emer, and thank you very much for having me on the show.
Delighted to have you with us. And Ross Byrne from Lennon's, you managed to get away from the kitchen. How are you today?
I'm good, Emer. Thanks very much for having us.
It's great to have you with us. Alex, you won the Culture and Tourism and Hospitality Award. Tell us what's happening at the moment with Huntington. Is this a time when you get to repair? I've no doubt it's more than a full-time job to look after a property like yours when you're off season.
Yeah, and the problem I was explaining to someone is all of our roofs, if anyone's listening that has experience with gutters, all our roofs have battlements. So there's no gutter, there's a valley. So it's just valleys everywhere, which means there's leaves, there's blockages. So I'm, at the minute, permanently going around trying to unblock valleys and fence sheep. That's what I'm doing at the minute.
You're fencing sheep, so we think you get all the glamorous jobs, because I saw you and you were all dolled up for the Chamber Awards, but a lot of hard work in the background.
No, this is my second change today, Emer, so I was wearing something else before when I was fencing. So yeah, there's always something, because because not apart from doing we do the obviously historic buildings, we do the tea rooms, we do the playground, and then we also have the farm as well there. So. And the gardens, of course, so there's always something to be doing. Yeah,
there's so much to do. And about tourism, talk to me about how we're doing as a county. Are you looking forward to the season, and does that kick in from St. Patrick's Day or thereabouts?
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that, because Carlow generally as a county punches well above its weight in tourism terms, and largely down to the members of Carlow Tourism and Eileen O'Rourke and everyone else there in Carlow Tourism that are doing such a great job to promote the county. So for a small county, we're doing really well. We have the Garden Festival. We've got the Columban Way, as you probably have covered on the show as well. That's a great new development for the county. And we're trying to you're always trying to get a mix of both domestic and overseas tourism. And you kind of can't, you can't really put all your eggs into one basket. So what we're trying to do as a county is get a nice, good mix of that. So you want to get your visitors down from the likes of Dublin, but then, of course, your overseas visitors, they'll give the hotel nights, they'll give the higher spend as well. So you're looking for a mix, really.
Right, and all that work that you're describing, that benefits hospitality, Ross, and
Hopefully.
hope so. It's tough working in a restaurant. Obviously, it's constant, it's all go. But you're very established in Carlow in the gorgeous grounds of St. Patrick's College beside Visual there. How many years have you been there now?
We're in Visual now 13 years.
Right, and
Yeah.
before that, of
And
course,
before
you were
that,
on
Mum
Tulla
and Dad
Street.
opened on Tulla Street in 99. So, yeah, it's sort of almost, 23, 24 years. Yeah.
And in many ways, you've a lot in common with some of our other guests, the theme being local business, that you know your customers so well because they've been with you for that long.
Oh, yeah, we've had a hugely loyal customer base since Mum opened Lennon's in 99. It was what she did then was a little bit different than what was in the town at the time. And we've tried to continue that on. We're like any restaurant, we're not for everybody. But we try and use seasonal produce and try and do things the way we think we should do them and the way people like them and our customers like them, and that's how we try and operate.
Quality has always been very important, and it's lovely as well that you have that family aspect because it's like almost walking into your family home. Sinead is there to greet a lot of the staff, you're there yourself, and you're a busy family man as well.
Yeah. Oh, here, listen, like anyone in business is, it's never easy. But no, we enjoy the challenge. It's tough going. It's difficult at times, very pleasurable at times. It's great when people come in on a Saturday night and there's a great buzz in the restaurant and everyone enjoys themselves and everyone leaves happy. That gives you a sort of great kick in your step. But then you can just as easily get a kick in the teeth the next day. But here, listen, it's a great business. You have to be passionate for it, like most businesses. You have to have a passion to do it and to consistently sort of get up and do it again. Because, you are only as good as your last meal. That's always, it's a long-standing one, but it is very true.
It's pressure, no doubt, a lot of pressure. And you have a great team, a small team. And Alex, I'd imagine you're the same, like for the small team aspect when you mention about fencing in the sheep and everything. It is full on and it's family orientated for you as well because you're juggling with the children.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, to Ross, we both, not so long ago, both of our families had 3 kids under 4. So you can imagine the chaos that ensues. 3 under 4, like it's a nightmare. I just call it the years. We wouldn't, as we're both saying that our wives both said, once nappies are gone, they're gone. So you either had as many as you had, and that was your lot. So you had to keep going when you were going. But then after that, it's just like, as I do call it, it's the tunnel of chaos. You know what I mean?
When you come out of the chaos, though, there'll be no recruitment crisis in Huntington Castle because you'll have plenty of help.
Yeah, I have 3 boys, and I'm training them to be well. Look, they're at that age now where they're very, very helpful because they're not quite teenagers. But I'm sure that'll change once they get to the teenage years.
You never know because you've instilled a great work ethic in them. Fair play to the two of you. Continued success to Lennon's. Open for dinner as well. Ross, do you want to tell us what's on the menu for the weekend? Are you booked out for Friday? Or
yeah, we're booked out Friday night, and I think there's still a few tables left for Saturday night and Sunday lunch. But no, busy run up now to Christmas. So hopefully, everything's quite seasonal. I think there's we still have some duck on this weekend, and then it's changing next weekend with venison and some of the sort of gamey items on.
Lovely, it sounds great. And Alex, if people want to visit Huntington Castle, when will you be able to do that to welcome people?
So we're open every weekend up until Christmas,
right?
And then we close in January. And then it sounds mad to say it, but then the next big thing in the gardening calendar is snowdrops, which Carlow is also, I was going to say world famous for, but it's certainly famous, the best county in Ireland for snowdrops.
We sure are.
We should tell everyone that. And we look forward to seeing everyone in the gardens for the weekends, and then, of course, in February for the snowdrops. So.
Thanks very much to Alex Sturden-Robertson from Huntington Castle for joining us there. The winner this morning, Etna, of the €100 Detail menswear voucher. We have a winner.
Thomas Nolan in Russellstown. I'll give you a shout shortly.
You'll be sorted, you'll be suited and booted with that voucher. Before we finish today, because the morning has just flown by, we're coming towards the end of the show. Madeleine Ryan, good morning to you from Bank of Ireland. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Good morning to you, Emer.
Delighted you could join us. You were there on the night, and it's great to celebrate the good things, to celebrate the excellence of business.
Absolutely. I'm the manager of Bank of Ireland, Carlow and Bagenalstown, and we have been partners with the Chamber and the awards. We have been the main sponsors for the last 7 years, and very proud to do so, very proud and very privileged. There are some fantastic businesses in Carlow, and also not only are they doing their own day-to-day, but they're making sure that they are reaching out and supporting their communities. As I said on the night, there's 25 GAA clubs in Carlow, all supported by local businesses, 2 rugby clubs and soccer clubs as well. So, you know, they are fantastic in what they do day in, day out for their communities.
Thank you very much for that, Madeleine. And that brings us to the end of today's KCLR Live. My thanks to Brian and Lisa and Anna for the help from Carlow Chamber. They're an excellent chamber. They're so active and involved in promoting business. Thank you to Hedgehog Productions. I'm not sure if he wants to turn the camera on himself there, Mike Culleton. Thanks to Greg Mindhard. Thanks a million to Christina Maranuscu as well. Thank you to my team here, Ken Maguire on sound, Shannon Redmond on social, and the amazing Etna Quirk, our producer. We'd love a round of applause for her as well. And thank you to James Keogh, our Lifetime Achievement Award winner at the Carlow Business Awards, for hosting us here live from the Lord Bagenal. Have a brilliant afternoon, folks. You can contact me off air, as always, KCLR Live at KCLR96FM.com. The John Keane Show is up next after your news headlines.